In Dune Part 2, Paul tells the Fremen he doesn't want to lead them. He says he only wants to fight beside them, and I believe he meant it. But it didn't matter by then because Paul Atreides was no longer choosing his own life. He was working within a system engineered to create a new version of him. So, let's talk about what the Kwisatz Haderach actually is and why becoming one might be the worst thing that ever happened to him, despite allowing him to achieve some of his goals. Let's go back to the first movie. The Reverend Mother, Moyen, is explaining it to Jessica, and she describes what they've been breeding towards. A mind powerful enough to bridge space and time, past and future. Not a prophet, not a messiah, a mind. She's describing a capability, not a religion. And she says something else, that there's a place the sisterhood cannot look, a darkness they're repelled by. It's said a man will come who can go where they cannot. Paul asked if the men who tried before failed. Her answer, they tried and they died. Now, here's where it gets important, because two things happen on Arrakis that look identical from the outside, and they are completely different. Paul has fully realized that he is the Lisan al Gaib, the voice of the outer world to the Fremen people, their Messiah. The false prophecy made fully manifest in the events of Dune Part 2. The Bene Gesserit planted it centuries in advance. It's called the Missionaria Protectiva. They see religions on distant worlds so that if a sister ever needs a shelter, the locals will worship her. It allows them to build a system of power. Jessica says it out loud in Part 1. Paul asks if they're planting superstition, and she tells him they're preparing the way for Paul. And Paul, who at that point still sees clearly, gives the truest line in the whole film. They see what they've been told to see. So, the prophecy is manufactured, but the Kwisatz Haderach, that part is real. It's not a religious title, it's a genetic outcome. 90 generations of controlled breeding, chasing one result, a male who can survive the spice agony and access both ancestral lines, male and female, every life that ever led to him. And when both lines open up at once, something else opens with them. Prescience. Not dreams, not visions. He sees every possible future all at once, branching, collapsing, running to their ends. That is not myth, that's a weapon. The sisterhood spent 10,000 years engineering, and it worked. More intriguing to me are the perspectives we form around such power. Everyone treats prescience like a superpower. I'd argue it's a cage, because when you can see every road, you also see where every road ends. You see the inexorable nature of all futures. You see how unstoppable it all is, because one of those futures still has to come true. Even if you choose the lesser of multiple evils, evil still comes with it. Paul looks down on all of them, every version of his life, and finds the same thing waiting at the end. War. A war in his name. Billions dying. He looked for the path where he stays a man, where he honors what he told Chani and the Fremen people, where he just fights besides them. That path simply doesn't exist in any meaningful way. The gift he received was engineered and showed him a future he could not escape. That's the betrayal of the sisterhood, not just the prophecy. And there's a scene in Part 2 that stays fresh in my mind.
We gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope!
Jessica is pushing himself towards the fanatics, towards the ones that call him Messiah, and she tells him the people there need hope. And Paul snaps back quickly, that's not hope. That's it. One of the last times we really hear Paul fully voice his opinions, in my view. Not Muad'Dib, not the Lisan al Gaib, Paul, a young man who can still see the difference between faith and manipulation, and he was furious about it. And it doesn't save him ultimately, because the machine his mother helped build, the one Stilgar's fate was already feeding, the one the Bene Gesserit planted centuries before he was born, that machine doesn't need his consent, unfortunately. It just needs him to arrive, one step after the next. If you enjoyed this observation, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It genuinely helps more people find these videos. So that's the truth of the Kwisatz Haderach, something that upon awakening has an identity of its own. It can't function as just a man because it truly is something more. Paul didn't become a god, he was just built to be received as one. And the moment he could see every road, he stopped being able to actually choose. See you next time.